We are live.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Black Professional Men's General Body Meeting, and we're back. And we are back. We're back for another season, another year of, of ensuring the future of the African American male, because that is what we do as Black professional men. We want to welcome everybody that is streaming, watching us streaming live, whether you're in our Facebook group, whether you're in our Zoom group here. We just want to thank you for tuning in. My name is Leroy McKenzie Jr. I am the impact builder, but I am also a member of Black Professional Men, and glad to be a part of what it is that we do, who we are, and what we do as Black professional men. We want to start off. We're going to start off this evening with the word of prayer, as we usually do. And then we have something special that we're going to talk about, and then we're going to go into, and then we'll get into our general body meeting. And I'll talk a little bit about, before we go into that, I'll go into who we are as Black professional men. Well, actually, let me say that real quick before we go into prayer. But Black professional men, we are a 501c3, but we are members. We serve as mentors and as role models for young African-American men, primarily in and around Baltimore metro region, where members are active in other mentoring programs, conduct speaking engagements across the state, and serve on nonprofit boards aimed at helping develop the African American community. We attempt to instill a sense of pride in our mentees to be strong African American men. We work to make positive changes in their lives, both in the school and in the community, in an effort to prepare them to take advantage of life's opportunities. So that's who we are as an organization. So we want to thank everybody. Just to give you a little bit about who we are, but we want to start off by having just a moment of prayer, as we do, and then we have a special kind of a thing that we're going to do tonight. So we can start off. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for allowing us to be able to make it to another day, but another year and another season of professional general body meeting to cover the organization. We ask that you cover the communities that we are engaged in, cover the communities that we all are a part of. We ask that you lead us, guide us, direct us in the way that you will have us to be able to go as an organization. We ask that you give us the assignments that you would have us to be able to do as Black men, and as we try to ensure the future of the African American male. We ask that you bless this meeting, be with us this evening as we take on your agenda, Heavenly Father. We ask that you have your way. It's in the precious name of Jesus we pray. Amen. So tonight, we want to start off, for those that may not know, and also be familiar with one of our dear brothers, Terrence Bradshaw. We got the notification, those of us who are in the group me, and probably others, maybe through text and everything like that, that he actually passed away. So we want to have a moment of silence, but we also want to take the time to who is one of our brothers. And as all of us know, when one of us falls, we all fall. So we want to just take this first part of the meeting to have a moment of silence, and then if there's anyone that wants to kind of take a couple minutes and talk about Terrence and just your memories and everything like that, we want to open the floor to be able to do that. So we can have a moment of silence for Brother Terrence. So we want to thank everybody. I see we have some others that have come in. I have I think that's him. Our president, if you want to come and say a couple words just to start us off with that, we can start off if you want to start off by talking about Brother Terrence, just to give a couple words, if you want to say anything, and then we can open the floor up to everyone else.
I'm sorry. Is this on the agenda?
Okay.
What are we doing?
Yes, this is on the agenda.
All right. The agenda, the link in the thing is not there. Can we get the agenda on the agenda link in the group me? I mean, in the link tree. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't catch. What do
say
you need?
some words about the guy who passed away? You know.
Oh, Terrence was a great brother. So he was a man of a few words, but all the words he used, you definitely knew where he stood. And so he's going to be really missed. He was very impactful. In fact, we had a meeting today with a few of our partners that he's been instrumental with working with, and they also are saddened by his loss. And so we have established a fund that we're collecting for his family. It's not a GoFundMe. So this is not like, he needs to have stuff to be able to do things, but he was a brother who put in a lot of work in the community. And, a lot of times you don't see the work that we do, but he was one of those brothers who put in a lot of work. So we just want to kind of use this opportunity to let some of the work that he has done kind of pay forward and, allow his family to be able to see, the recognition of what what he has done for the organization.
Cool. Thank you for those words, Hassan. Did we have anyone else that wanted to kind of speak on brother Terrence?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Terrence, like many of us, had a past and was looking to use the present to create a brighter future. He always wanted to, had concerns about how he presented himself and was what he was doing the right intention. And what always impressed me about Terrence was his humility, his willingness to learn from all people, and never underestimate anyone who is either speaking to or working with. I am proud that in the last year of his life, especially, to have been able to work closely with him and to see some of his ideas come to life through Black professional men in his passing, although it's very sad because I've been speaking with him recently. I am happy that the work we're doing was able to make an impact for his life overall and give some purpose to his ideas and what he wanted to bring to the table for business, for IT, and just for his family overall. So he will be missed.
Yeah, definitely. This is some great words, Shadid. And I'll just add my my part to it is that Brother Terrence, and I had the pleasure of being able to work with him from BPM and then also on from a professional side, and with what he did with IT and everything like that, and nothing but kindness, nothing but just a great dude, great person to know as somebody, as a part of the organization, and then as somebody who on the professional side and the different things that he was achieving and that he did achieve. It was very sad to hear about him, about him passing. And in this day and time, with everything that's going on, with all of the different things that go on with this world and stuff like that, when you have somebody that you are connected to, that is, that passes away, it kind of hits you. It's a little closer to home. I'll put it that way. And it does that way. But Terrence was definitely a good brother. He will certainly be missed. This is, for me, this is the second person that I know and that I was close to that did IT that has passed away. This year, one passed away earlier this year, and then now Terrence. So it's those great minds, because it's something when you do when you do IT that you're able to, with the people that you touch and being able to do that. But I just had that thought come to me about that. That's crazy to have that. But Brother Terrence will be. Will actually be missed. So, do we have anybody else before we move on?
I'd like to ask you guys, what's his last name? I wonder if I knew him.
Sure. His last name is Bradshaw, Terrence Bradshaw. And you might have maybe in your runnings and everything like that. You might have encountered him, might have seen him. But yeah, Terrence Bradshaw was his name. So, if there aren't any others, then what we'll do is we'll just move on in the agenda, and we have this gentleman. We're going to move right to our speaker, but this gentleman, some of you may know, some of you might not know, but he is certainly somebody that you should get to know. When it comes to BPM and the great things that he's doing in and around the city. He and I go way back. we go actually way back, and I'm talking. We grew up together, and I hope that Calvin doesn't mind me mentioning this and everything, because his mom recently passed, but the way we know each other is because his mother used to babysit me and my sisters growing up. So we go way back in our neighborhood and everything like that growing up. So I'm glad he was able to join us tonight to be able to come and talk a little bit about financial literacy, talk a little bit about his company, Chosen Media, which is just awesome, and all of those things. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself and talk about who he is, and then I'll let him have the floor as far as what he wants to talk about when it to the financial literacy piece, and then also Chosen Media, which is what he's doing, and the big things that great things that he's doing there. So I'd like everybody to welcome Brother Calvin Watkins. Brother Calvin?
Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot. Yes, Leroy, I'm just looking at because my mother did pass in July. I do graphic design, so I did her obituary, and I'm putting all these pictures in there. And I come across pictures of Leroy and the sisters, and all of us playing baseball. Leroy knew everything about every Oriole player, like at the time. It was just awesome. But Leroy's always been a great guy. We connected immediately, I guess because he was coming to the house, but yeah, we've been friends ever since. So thank you guys for the opportunity. Now I'm a member of BPM on and off. I don't do much in terms of over the last 2 years, really talking to Hassan. He's really, Hassan, I want to thank you. You really helped me take this vision of the school I want to start to another level, because at the time we're looking to do a charter school, and going through all the ins and outs of what it takes to get approved by Baltimore City to do a charter school, when other states offer charter schools and are more supportive. There's something about really putting the work in and trying to do it at home, because the need is great at home first. I think I really wanted to just focus on my own backyard before I start spreading this love all across the country. But Hassan was really instrumental in helping me see past charter school, look at taking the school as a private school and getting funding to go along with that. So again, my name is Calvin Watkins. I've been an entrepreneur more than half my life. I remember in 4th grade at Grove Park Elementary School talking about wanting to be a cameraman wanted to shoot news. As I got older, different things came in front of me, but I started a video company in the 80s, been doing it ever since. I love it. And one of the things that I did was I started doing videos for charter schools and marketing videos. And I saw all the different schools offering technology, some offering foreign language, they offer science and everything, but no one was talking about financial literacy. No one was talking about entrepreneurship. And I felt like that was one thing that spoke to my heart. And then I looked around and saw how it really would make a difference in our community. There are two things we're told not to talk about: religion and politics. But but within both of those, money is center. You know, if you talk about a church, you need money to build the church and support the ministry. Talk about politics. Politicians move money with their politics. They won't get in office, so they raise money. And all these things, center around money. So they teach us. They teach us in school. And I'm sorry, let me put my laptop up real quick. They teach us in school. They tell us how to, balance the quadratic equations. They tell us everything about how to really, maintain a budget. That's our money. I'm sorry, one second. Forgot to plug it in. So what I like to do is do something different and offer that as an education. We got our squeegee boys. Thanks, man. Sorry about that. We got our squeegee boys on the corner, pretty much panhandling, looking to get money to do whatever they need to do with it. I think a lot of them really are in a position where they help their families. Some might go out and buy shoes, but everything around it is centered around money. Our young people who go out and start selling drugs, I don't think they do it for the excitement of it. There's some thrill in it, but they really after the money. Our professional athletes become professional athletes. Our kids go out of high school, our great athletes become professionals, and they squander their money. There's so much around financial literacy that would really change our community. I look at Dr. Claude Anderson, listen to him a lot, and he talks about the 5-tier building. And the first thing he talks about most is getting our money together. Every community that has a stake in the game come together as a community, they have their money together. And it seems like we don't have that as a community. So I think the best way to start it is create a culture of finance and wealth development and business ownership. Malcolm X did a speech years ago, and he said, you go into the Jewish community, you see no Black businesses. Go into the Greek community, no Black businesses. Go to the Chinese community, and no Black businesses. Then he said, you come into the Black community, and every business is there but ours. And that still holds true to today. And I believe that I can make a change by creating a school and getting children as young as kindergarten understand what it takes to not only budget their money, but to build wealth through financial literacy and entrepreneurship. I went to Chicago. In Chicago, there's a school that was, the state of Illinois decided to have businesses partner with them to help improve schools. So there's a company in Chicago called the Ariel Investments, John Rogers and Melly Hobson. They actually adopted a school. It's called the Ariel School, and it's a K-8 school, and the kids learn financial literacy and entrepreneurship. Instead of science projects, these kids are doing presentations on public companies. You hear fourth grader talk about the beta, the yield, stock dividends for a company that most adults don't know and haven't heard of. And I was just blown away with that. So I was able to create a relationship with that company, with that school, and they want to support us to do a school similar to that in Baltimore. So just going back and forth in the process of trying to, applying at the charter school. The first year, I just wanted a school. I said, okay, I put together a plan, and they loved everything about it but the curriculum. They said, okay, you got to come back with a stronger curriculum. So you have to wait 18 months to present to Baltimore City Schools again. So on the second presentation, I'm sorry, you had to wait like 12 to 13 months to present again. Only from the second time I went back, they said, well, you have a great idea, great concept, we love everything, but you don't have enough educators on the board. My circle has always been business. I have friends who are educators, but I didn't think about pulling them in to start a school because the financial literacy is about business. I said, okay, we can hire the teachers, but we need people who will hit the streets and help us raise money, who understand the need for entrepreneurship, and who understand the need to teach our children financial literacy and entrepreneurship. So the second time around, they said, hey, we love everything. You just need to see more people on your board that represent children, that represent the teaching staff that we have that work with children. So again, that was a no. And resources go into putting an application together. You know, you hire a consultant, you pay them to do the plan, the proposal. And it's like the second time around doing this. And now I've seen organizations that are well-financed, well thought out, a great balance of entrepreneurs and educators on their boards, and they still get denied. So we all have come to the understanding that Baltimore City is just not in a space where they want to allow charter schools to open. And no new charter schools are open for quite some time now. So you know, I talked to Hassan a couple of years ago, and he planted the seed, make it a private school, and gave me some ideas around it. And I'm like, nah, man, we need to get this charter thing going because the money is there in charter. You know, they give you the guarantee. Then I saw Carl Stokes have a school, and I don't know all the details about it, but I did see it was on Front Street. They were shutting them down. Like all the things that go into running a school, they shut them down for not. There's probably some other things involved, but what was on Front Street was he didn't do a lot with special needs, and that bothered me. I didn't like the fact that someone could just pull a plug on you, and instead of saying, "Hey, let's help you fix this part of your school," they said, "We're gonna pull the plug because you can't do this one thing." And that bothered me. It just reminded me of working for someone. I've been an entrepreneur 30 years, and to have someone come in and say, "You know what? You're fired, and you gotta go somewhere else to work." I felt like that could happen to us with the school. So again, Hassan, I give you all the props, man. You know, saying, you know, looking at making a private school. So I switched things around, and now we're up to making it a private school. So I found a building in Baltimore City. It's a school that is coming up for RFP. They're looking for proposals to make use of this building. It comes up on their not access buildings, liquidation of buildings that they have to do. So we're looking at one of these buildings to start a school. The school is called the Business and Economics Academy of Maryland. It's BEAM for short. So we want to have everything from BEAM education to BEAM dollars to a BEAM store. Teach kids all about money, how to make it, how to build it, how to grow it, and how to manage it, which is the most important. But along with all of that, we're going to teach them philanthropy because no one is coming to save us. I know we hear that on Sundays in church. We hear that every time politicians come around. Everyone wants to come and save us, and no one has come to save us. I think one thing I like what Barack Obama said in one of his speeches, he said, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Now, I don't necessarily think he was talking to Black people, but I believe that is what we need to do. We are the ones we've been waiting for. I love the work that BPM does because you guys, I mean, from the Hope Scholarships to the breakfasts to the work that men do to the first day of school, going out shaking hands with the kids. I think that is us taking care of us. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And I just take it upon myself to want to start a school. Now, one of the biggest things to start a school, you need finances. And I know that for me to make this happen, I need to have some money on the table. I've met with a lot of organizations, a lot of people that want to give money. And at the same time, you know, at any time they could pull out. So doing video production all my life, I started a new company to do real estate. It's called Uni Home. So for me to market my business, and real estate is a very lucrative business, it takes 3 years legally with the state of Maryland as a real estate agent, you have to work 3 years before you start your own real estate team. So I created Uni Home, and behind that, I'm doing a Uni Home television. It's going to be a television show that talks about real estate. We showcase houses. We talk to real estate investors. We talk to bankers, mortgage people, loan people, everything, home improvement professionals, everything around real estate. The idea is for me to use revenue generated from your new home and from real estate to help finance the school. I truly believe that the school will run best with a business connected to it. If we have to always go out and raise money, good years, bad years, we can run into some fluctuations. But if we have a business or several businesses that finance the school directly, I think that'll make the school a lot more successful, and it'll be fiscal every year. We'll have a budget to do the things we need to do. So that's kind of like where I am with it. I think it's gonna be. I started this private school endeavor this year. when I started doing real estate. And the goal, so it's a 3-year plan to acquire a building through Baltimore City. The reason we want to do Baltimore City, because if we buy a building or lease a building for something retail, it's a different expense. So to be able to have a building where children can come in and we can control the real estate, that would be a big difference. So with Baltimore City having their school a list of buildings that they have in excess they're looking to get rid of, we're going to put a proposal in on a couple of buildings and see if we can acquire a building, and then from there open it up to start a school. I have a lot I could talk about. I'm sure you guys know the need for financial literacy, not only for adults, but definitely for children. And if a child can master Spanish, I mean, our kids are learning Spanish at every school they go to. The big thing is learn Spanish. Why can't they learn, if they can master Spanish from kindergarten to 12th grade, then they can master finance. And college isn't for everyone. They can actually graduate school. We have relationships with banks. Given that we have a school, we have relationships with banks that understand these kids could use micro grants or micro loans. And the fact that the children have been taught from kindergarten to 12th grade how money works, how to manage money. They've worked on business plans. They've had everything they needed to learn about how to run a business and how to invest their money and how to manage money. Their resume as a student will speak for itself when it comes to starting a business and management of a business. And whether it's a kid starting an IT company in 12th grade upon graduation, or he wants to go mow some lawns, or he might want to have the next big computer company. You never know. But we are some of the most creative people on the planet. You look at success stories. People who have success stories often have stories, a bad time in their life, and say, we were homeless. We used to eat out the trash can. My father was in jail. Our people are full with those stories. So if we can find a way to spin that, because so many success stories, so many successes, and so many successful people in life have these stories in their background, we can pull our kids and give them the right resources, the right information to turn it around. I believe we definitely can make a change. And we can change because our people are so influential in everything. I think we can make the new swag, like, are you an entrepreneur? Are you investing your money? Not about spending, I got a new ride, I got a new watch, I got a new car. Like, are you investing your money? Are you watching your paper? Are you helping your money grow? What are you doing to be independent and to build? I think one of the rappers came out with like buy the block, and we could teach our kids, hey man, I'm building to buy the block. So that's kind of like where we are. I think it's a 3-year process. I have plans to open the school in 2023. We want to acquire real estate late 22, maybe spring of 23. Met with the state of Maryland and went through their criteria of what they look for to start a private school. So the next thing is to go ahead and just start this process. I want to touch base with you, Hassan, with the ideas you gave me about how I could plant the seed and with the organization we talked about at the time. But I want to make sure we want to get one off the ground as a prototype, make our mistakes, go through it, stumble forward, and make it a franchise. And I say franchise not in the sense of selling it, but making it a system that can be duplicated. So we can put it everywhere. I mean, from the projects here in Baltimore to the trailer parks in Alabama or backwoods of the country, the South and South Carolinas, wherever it is, where we can get out people this information. And again, they start early, and we got to make it like the cool thing to do, because we are trendy people. We got to make it flashy, not in the sense of what the rappers are, what a lot of this music is selling, but really flashy in the sense this is some strength, and this is something you can build. You don't ever have to watch your back for the rest of your life if you do it this way.
Can I give you something to consider?
Yes, absolutely, bro. If anybody, absolutely.
All right. So I've been doing a lot of studying, a lot of thinking, right? And the one thing I've learned about white supremacy is it's all about a belief.
Yes.
And so have you seen the movie Inception?
No, I don't think I've seen Inception.
Okay, so the movie Inception is about planting an idea in somebody's head. Okay. And so he was like, all right, if everybody close their eyes and think about pink elephants, do you see pink?
I follow you.
And more times out of 10, people will see pink, right? And so when you plant an idea or belief in somebody, it grows. Right. And then it becomes a part of that person.
Right.
And this is why white supremacy is so strong, because it's taught at that young of an age, right? And so I feel like one of the things that we don't do as well at is creating that belief, but then two, right, we provide the end result, but not the steps in between. I
agree. Yes.
So like, it just really hits me personally when people be like, what if you don't want to go to college, right? College is not for everybody. And I would have to agree, because I was one of those people that was like, college ain't for me, right? My mama sent me to college. I didn't want to go. My cousins and all that tried to get me to go to college. And obviously I knew everything, which means I didn't know anything. And when I found myself climbing trees in the middle of the summer in Georgia, I realized I did something wrong with my life. And so when I decided to go to college, my income went up. And so right, my point is that I feel like when people repeat that college is not for everybody, it plants a seed, it plants a belief in people's minds that grows, that almost gives them an out. Because one of the main things is that you can't be a great CEO if you're not a great employee.
That's true.
And it's almost that if we want to teach these kids how to be a CEO but not an employee.
Okay. I understand
that. It's not that we want them to be a worker bee, but you have to be able to know what your people have to do. You have to be able to have the empathy to be able to experience what your people have to experience. So you have to go through it.
Well, I appreciate that. And I feel, from what I gather, I think you're basically saying to not push or not push as much that college isn't for everyone, and really steer our children into going to college.
Well, so what I'm saying is that we want to push higher education is for everyone. What that higher education is up to debate. But you still need money to go become an HVAC person, to go to that trade school, because the trade school is not free. So, if people just feel like if they didn't go on to college, they don't need to finish school. And it's not the case. Even if you wanted to go to the military, you still need to finish school. Right. And you still need to make a decent amount of grades. Right. And so
higher education is really the key that you're saying.
Right. So what higher education is up to debate.
Yeah, that's relative. I guess that is different people need different things. I understand that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
A workshop could be higher education.
Exactly. But because for me, I went through this phase when I was like, I don't need to go to college. I didn't need to learn. And so I didn't. And I kept getting this knot on my head from hitting this wall from college experience. And I was like, you know what? I need to, it's causing a bruise. So, people don't know what they don't know. And they don't understand the energy and the seeds that they plant in somebody when they say college is not for everybody.
Right. So if I could, I appreciate that, because I really listen to what you say, man. I appreciate that. So if I could look to steer that again, really push higher education, higher levels of education is more we want to go. Is more direction we take, and then that person at that time in their life could decide what that looks like for them. But they will always be in pursuit for education, whether it's a workshop, whether it's a Zoom class, or whether it's a university, a college or university. It could be a trade school, but higher levels of education is what we always want to look for.
And see, here's the thing too that I think that people don't understand or maybe misunderstand when, like you were saying, Hassan, when we talk about college isn't for everyone. Higher, like you all are saying, higher learning is certainly it. But I think when we frame it in the terms of skill sets, and that learning, like you just said, whether you're a plumber, whether you're an electrician, whether you are a media cameraman, there has to be a skill set that comes along with whatever it is that you want to do. Even like you said, going into the military, you have to have a certain skill set to be able to do that. You can't just walk up into the military and say, "Oh, I want to join." You have to be able to do certain things. And if you don't meet what their criteria is, or understand that, hey, I have these skill sets or have the ability to be able to gain certain skill sets, then that's what I think we can kind of frame it in those terms. And yes, high what do you call it? What do they call it? Higher learning or formal education would be, colleges and everything like that. Formal education may not be for everyone, but education is for everyone, because you have to be
That's
educated.
actually I talked with someone. This guy was a dean of the School of Entrepreneurship at UB, at University of Baltimore. And talking to him about the school, he said, "Wow, man, to create a school where these kids are going to kindergarten to 12th grade with this type of education, they would definitely start off at like a sophomore year of college here, because a lot of what they will learn, what they have learned there, is what we start off the basis with." And I took that as I can't say as a compliment necessarily, but I took that as a way to help these kids build. So if we can get them ready by 12th grade to start off, to be at a level of a sophomore at a UB or a junior, whatever it is, if they can have that much information at the 12th grade level, and it's like no telling what they could do, but definitely pushing higher levels of education, no matter what that looks like, would definitely be the way I like to keep that conversation going. So thank you for that.
No, yeah, absolutely, and I think I think that will assist all of the kids who may say, because they can take that very easily and say, well, I ain't got to go to college, I don't have to do anything, because I know me and my buddies, we have this conversation all the time about the dropout rate here for Baltimore for young Black men is upwards towards, I think, 65, 70%. So where are these young men going? What are they doing? So it's, and we can say, hey, that the educational system isn't doing what they're supposed to do. No, it's not. No, it's not. But what are we, schools like yours, Calvin, that you're working on, and even Brother Edwin with his school, that are taking kids from those early ages and instilling them that work ethic and that education that they need, that will give them a leg up. And I don't know how many of you all have been or familiar with the Upward Bound program. I thank God for that Upward Bound program. I was actually fortunate to be able to be a part of that, and came through that program, and it gave students a leg up, like you were just talking about, Calvin, where they, you got credits already going into college, so you're ahead of everybody else, because hey, you've gotten that education on the front end of it that not everybody else has been privy to. So I think that's important, and I think with the development of your school, there can't be enough of them, especially with yours focusing on entrepreneurship and financial literacy.
It has to be cultural.
I think
we got to find a way to make it cultural. The love of education has to be a part of our culture, so that we get rid of this speaking right, speaking wrong, speaking white. You read too much, you're an egghead, you're square. I mean, look at the movie, I think it was called Family Ties, where Urkel, the smartest guy on the show, was ridiculed. And the coolest guy on the show with all the girls and the fancy clothes was the guy doing bad in school. We have to reverse that, because that's what they want. That's what they give us. And we have to fix that. So again, making it cool, not that cool being in school, I'm no rhyming guy, but it has to be cultural that we love education. And I think it'll start with a small group, and it'll grow from there. I mean, I think wealth is contagious. People want to make money. People want to live better. But if we can get a small group of kids, and the educators as well. So I'm on the Maryland Council of Economic Education. I'm on one of the committees. And teachers don't want to teach it. We offer free seminars to teach educators in the state of Maryland, the educators in the state of Maryland, teach them financial literacy. And it's hard to get them to come in because they have issues with financial literacy. So they're intimidated by it. But something I learned from the book of Art of War, they said, Sun Tzu said, he will win whose army is animated with the same spirit throughout its ranks. So everyone that comes to school, from the guy or the lady that screws in the light bulbs and paints the floors or washes the floor, up to the head of school, everyone has to talk the financial literacy language. Everyone has to be certified in financial literacy so that a kid could be walking down the hall and see some Nikes and say, oh, I see you have the new Nikes. Well, you know, their stock was up $3 a day or 3%. Oh, I see you got some Under Armours on. The things our kids relate to, we could change it, make it an economic conversation. They could even actually go out and start working with the schools that are graduating STEM kids and say, listen, I graduated from Beam. I know you're doing STEM. Why don't I partner with you and we can work to raise some money? And that idea you have for, you know, the next satellite dish or the next solar panel, we can make it a business and we can run with it. You know, we can actually create those type of partnerships, relationships with school, as opposed to always playing basketball and football. Nothing against those directly, but like indirectly, we have this insatiable thing where we gotta have a ball in our hand, and our kids to get that all the time. And
Can I give you something to think about?
Yes.
So, wow, this had to be close to 18 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, right? I had this good friend whose son at the time was having problems in school, right? And he was adamant that the teacher wasn't doing their part to teach their son, right? And I learned a valuable lesson from that, right? Because the teacher's not there to teach your children. And a lot of us think that they are, right? They're there to provide access to information. And it's up to the parent to make sure that child retains that information. And so when I started coming on over to my friend's house, I would say, okay, to the son, I was like, all right, well, look, every day I want you to read an article in the paper and tell me about it. And just from that, and I would come by, we had a business together, so I would come by there almost every day, and his son would do that. Now, in order for him to do that, he had to make plans, right? He had to pick the article out, read it, analyze it, do his other homework, do all these other things, right? Consequently, his grades improved. And so the only thing his father was doing was, hey, did you do your homework? Whatever the son said is what he took for granted. But then, so if your school is not able to teach the parents or help guide the parents in their role in the children's education, then you're going to continue to see challenges.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of parents from our communities feel like public school is free school, right? But you get what you pay for, right? Yes. But like if you go to an area that has high property taxes in their public schools, well, that school is not free. So there's a in a lot of our communities, there's a disproportionate value of education that is passed on to the kids. And the tone is set by the parents. And so I just feel if you're not able to address that element of it, then you may not reach as much of the results you may desire.
Well, that's an excellent point. One of the experiences I had working with the Maryland Council of Economic Education, MCEE, I went there one year. We had the stock market game awards, and I was talking to parents. These are parents from all over the state, and parents would come. We were doing interviews. We were trying to put our marketing together. So I was in charge of that. And I would record parents saying, you know what, I knew nothing about the stock market, didn't care about it, but I gave my kid, $100 for Christmas, and they said instead of them buying a PlayStation, they wanted to buy stock. So that got their attention. And then the conversations at home turned into what stocks are we going to buy? I met this one brother, good looking brother, dark skin. He had his locks. He was an athlete. His parents were engineers. So he said, okay, they said, the mom said, this year we're going to give you money. You can buy whatever you want. Just so happens he was also taking part in the stock market game in school. So he invested the money. Turning around now, instead of because he wanted to be an engineer. Now he wants to be a financial manager, he wants to be a stockbroker or a financial investment manager, and he invests money for the family now. He runs the family's stock portfolio. So again, it's like you said, with the support of the parents. So with that, we're creating programs. We have this one thing we do called Family Business Day, where the parents, we have every family in the school do a project where each one is learning a business. Well, each family creates a business. It could be selling snowballs, or it could be building cars, something that's going to be relative. When I say building cars, but let them create a business. That way the parents are involved with what we do in the school. And again, he will win whose army is animated with the same spirit throughout his ranks, having everyone on the same page to learn finance, to understand how it works, start a business, the entrepreneurship, having everyone on the same page. Now, it won't be the first day everyone's going to jump on board, but over time, planting that seed, sort of what you just said about, not stop telling them what's not for them, but really talk about how higher levels of education are beneficial and really, pitch that point. Over time, that has to be the mindset, it'll become the mindset. Everyone gets animated with the same spirit. So again, I appreciate that as well, because that is definitely a key. To have a kid sit in school for 6 or 7 hours and then go home and it's all torn apart. And you got to start all over again the next day. That's one of the biggest problems school systems have now.
So if
Absolutely.
you had a tip for parents, right? Because I'm assuming your school is not going to be free.
Right, won't be free.
So if you had a tip for a parent, what advice would you provide a parent as to how do they assess the value of education for their child?
Oh, wow. I thought you were going somewhere else that I answered that part. How to assess the value of education for the child? I guess I would tell them, look around and see what has worked for you. And if those things are working for you and you're in a space where you are, you have, I don't know, I can't necessarily look plenty their money because I don't want to make it all about money. But if you have a stable foundation and it has worked for you, then you should look at that working for your child. And if not, then this is a place where we're going to teach them from day one how to build that so that they can take what you have to the next level.
Okay. So here's the thought I would have, right? All my thoughts seem to be extreme, right? But if your child was just born and when your child turns 18 years old, if they had a court date, how much would you pay when they went to school to avoid them from having a court date?
I like that. Yes. I like that. Well, and a variation of that, but absolutely. I was thinking that you were talking, in terms of what is it worth. I see people going to school, driving their kids to school in Benzes and BMWs, cars that cost a lot of money. I was like, okay, is that car an investment versus the investment you could put into your child?
Yeah, because I had a neighbor. I had a neighbor when I lived in Baltimore County. When his kids went to college, he actually saved money. And so,
I'm sorry, they saved money going to college.
Yeah, because the tuition he was paying for them to go to high school and middle school was higher than what they had to pay them for them to go to college.
Yes.
So I mean, it's one of those things. And so also, are you familiar with the military?
Yes.
Were you in the military?
I had the right stuff to go in the military.
Okay, all right. So in the military, this is something that I strongly believe in, right? The military has 2 types of training. They got training for officers and training for enlisted. Okay? When they train you for enlisted, they train you to be a worker bee.
Right.
When you train as an officer, you're trained to be a leader. Now, public school, when you go to public school, in some places, they train you to be a worker bee and it has strings attached to it.
Okay. I agree.
When you go to private school, they generally give you like an overall project to work for that year, and you get to navigate through a bunch of different experiences to be able to do that. So they're training you to be a leader. And so, you just want to remember that your school is training leaders that they don't even know yet. They don't even know it yet.
You know it yet, exactly.
And so, you're training financial astute leaders.
Yes.
And I agree with you all with what you're saying. As far as I'm not gonna say that public school grooms you to be worker bees. I'm a product of both private and public schools. I went to private school from first grade to eighth grade, and then my high school years I went to public school. Now, the private school gave me my foundation, and I'm forever grateful for my mother for doing that for me, to give me the foundation that I got from the private school that I went to. But also with the public school, to me, I think it depends on the teachers that you have and how engaged those teachers are with the students. I'm forever grateful for my teacher and my second mother, Miss Jean Reagan, who took the time to work with this young boy right here who didn't know anything about anything and poured into me. She made me work. She saw something in me that, like you were just saying, didn't see in myself as a 15, 16, 17-year-old boy. She pulled that out of me. She pulled that, and the leadership skills that I got, that I have, some of those that I have today are because of her and what she did, not only for me, but she did to me. Because and I think about it all the time, and then we got to move on. But I think about her all the time and how she pushed me. She pushed me to be able to do something that she was my Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 teacher. I hated math. I couldn't stand it. We got Kendrick coming up talking about STEM, and I know he don't want to hear that, but I hated math. I won't say I hated math. It wasn't one of my best subjects. I didn't necessarily like it. But through her, I was able to understand it, grasp it, do what I needed to do with it, and then move on with it. But the skill set that she gave me in learning mathematics, I took on to college. I took on to in my career and everything like that, because she pushed me to be able to be more and want to do more as a young Black man. Those,
you know what? And I appreciate that, but I think two things, but not be brief. What Hassan said makes perfect sense. You went to a school that built leaders for your foundation. Then you went to a school of worker bees at a senior level. But on top of that, we should not have a school where a child depends on where one teacher makes or break whether a child is a worker bee or a leader. The system has to be set up.
Well, true, right. I mean, it was more than her, but she was the one that stood with me. You know what I'm saying? For me personally.
The systems we have with public schools is always like Miss Johnson was the best math teacher. So if Miss Johnson isn't there, the kids don't get good math. I want to build a school system that runs like a McDonald's, runs like a Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, they don't have the best chefs, but they provide a service. I say McDonald's because the franchise, the fact they duplicate the system. If you build a good system, you can build a good system, and you need the best teachers, you need good teachers. You need the best head of school, you need a good head of school. The system should run the school. But that's the model I want to put together so we can duplicate it. And you're not paying, if you got the best teachers, you got to pay best teachers, you got to find best teachers everywhere you go to make the school work. With the best system, Mickey Mouse could come in and teach a class. And if he works the system, then the system will educate the children. The children should be, the system should run the school. That's just my 2 cents, but thank you.
And that is so true. That is absolute truth. That systems, I mean, that's whether it's business or the business of schools or any other businesses. Systems. When you have good systems,
That's why they're having problems. And there's so many different things that go into that system having problems, but as a system,
so. That is absolute truth. That is absolute truth with the Baltimore public school system. So, Calvin, thank you for that. This has been an excellent conversation that we have been having. So yes, definitely, I want to be kept abreast of the movings of the school, because I'm all behind you with that like that. So
we're gonna start our fundraising later this year, so I'll make sure everybody hears about it. It has to be. So thank you.
Yeah, and before I hop to Kendrick, I put in the chat, Cal. Look, there's an organization here called Baltimore Community Lending that is looking drastically for businesses to be able to support in Baltimore City. So that may be able to be an avenue for you to be able to find a building, to be able to get the funding that you need for a building. So they are great people. I've connected them with BPM as well. But yeah, certainly look into the contact them, and I'll send it to you outside of here too. But you certainly want to have a conversation with them.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, gentlemen. Hassan, I owe you lunch or something so we can rap again, man. So
absolutely.
October would be a good time for
me. Absolutely. We can figure it out. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm on this thing called a food truck.
Food truck?
Yeah.
It ain't just a food truck, bro. Go ahead.
So I'm there every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
It's his wife's business, man. He ain't gonna say nothing about it, but I will.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember seeing the post on something. Okay, I got you. What could be those days?
That's good stuff.
They'll change your life. They change your life.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Cal. Right. Thanks for.
Hey, have you talked with Rashad Holloway?
No, I don't think I know who Rashad is.
All right, well, great. This is a great opportunity. I know he's in the gallery, so y'all can kind of chat behind the scenes before you leave out, because he got some great things he want to share with you.
Okay. So how do I get in touch with Rashad?
Rashad, can you message him? Can y'all message each other in the chat?
Is he in there? I don't see him on the thing here.
He's in the attended.
Is that him? Because I saw Kendrick. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I said, he's there. Cool. So we want to move to our next speaker, and we're going to further go into education, and we're going to have him, and he's familiar with everybody knows him. Everybody's familiar with him. They know him. We call him DJ 5-Star, but but those of us in here know him as Kendrick. But I wanted to have, since we're starting off the school year, and this was one of the reasons why I thought it was great for us in September to have these two gentlemen who deal with education, and in these two types of formats that are so important, I think, outside of the other types of, just the other educational realm, that these two brought just some great perspective on how what we need to do going into this new year, the priorities that we need to have, as you all talked about too. But I asked him if he could come and talk with us a little bit about his everything that he has going on with his business and the STEM program. So I'm just gonna let him do what he do, and there's none other than our Vice President, Brother Kendrick Tillman, and AKA DJ 5-Star.
Greetings, everyone. I'm just so excited. The company is just so excited. We're in year 11 of a 20-year plan. So I wanted to give you a little taste of Media Masters with a small taste of math through music in efforts to talk about our educational services and how we want to re-socialize our students into the classroom and just give them some accelerated learning. So just to give you some background information on me, of course, I'm a husband, father of two, grandfather of two, Some people don't know that. I got two step adults that gave me two little beautiful grandbabies right there. And they are my why. And so, and growing this company, it started with this game. I remember bringing us back from a 30-point deficit in the last play of the game. I dunked on this guy, and the crowd went crazy, and they started running to the court, and they were picking me all up in the air. And then later on, I had a dream that this same energy that you see behind me was actually for math. And in that dream, here comes Math Through Music. And so Math Through Music is a product that teaches young people how to DJ using math principles. And so we're just excited that this opportunity fell on our lap because we were planning this. We're in year 11 of a 20-year plan, and we said by year 10, we should have a product. And lo and behold, we got this product partnership. And just to understand where my background, of course, my background's in electrical engineering. I have a master's in business administration. I plan to go back and get a PhD in engineering research. This is a real picture that a photographer said, I have to get this shot of you. That building right above my right behind my building is the school board for public schools, from Baltimore City Public Schools. And they need what you got, Mr. Tillman. You found a way to combine your engineering degree with you being a professional DJ. So yes, I was 13 floors up on that roof. The wind was blowing. He put a little effect on it with the smoke and the wind, but that's a real picture, not edited, with my turntable, with the books that I accomplished the electrical engineering degree to continue to move forward as I'm wanting to inspire the next generation of youth. So when I talked about scratching this record, that is kinetic energy. That is friction. That is physics. So the goal was not to teach the young people how to DJ. We just want to connect the dot. So we exposed that actually DJing has STEM in it. We use science because of the kinetic energy and friction, and we have technology because this record is, as you can see, is actually controlling the video. This record, technology affected the DJ industry to this record. This video is being controlled by this record that has time code in it, that has, which is the computer language that allows that to talk to this computer. And so we engage our young people over the Zoom calls, over any virtual platform, using this delivery system that takes our message with our method. Our second product that I'll get to is called JD. So in JD, they actually solder the DJ rig together and then code it to play music. Because everything that we do here is about making sure that our students are met right there at that passion point, whether it's music, whether it's media, whether it's fashion, whether it's any of those fickle industries. We want to expose the STEM in these fickle industries. And so what we plan on doing now is really understanding how we can maneuver and merge, because everyone wanted to separate the arts from STEM. Well, no, we include arts and reading. So stream integration is what we really call it: science, technology, reading, engineering, arts, and math. And there's no separation. We merged all of them together. And so just to give you some quick history about Math Through Music and this partnership, our Math Through Music piece is really just a solution that draws music over a STEM curriculum to increase academic performance, attendance rates, and maybe even graduation rates to developing that new smart system. So here at my company, we just want to focus on being that pipeline that gets you engaged to employment, or engaged to pursuing a PhD in engineering or STEM field, or engaged in creating your own business like Five-Star Enterprise. And so our mission, as you can see, is really to create that understanding of math. It's almost like when you have a child that you want to take some medicine. You might put that medicine in some applesauce so they can get what they need, but that applesauce makes it engaging. It creates that urge to learn. So that's pretty much what we do, and we're used as educational resources. We're used as after-school programs, summer programs, intros to teachers unit plan. And so the kit actually comes with everything you need to actually learn how to DJ using these math principles. So upper and lower limits, you're talking about expanding the range, tempo and percentages, working with percentages, multiplication, division, decimals, rounding, place value, as you can see, et cetera, et cetera. And so we want to make sure that we know that principles are few, processes are many. Principles are few, processes are many. So we took the few principles here in math and applied them to the many processes of music, specifically DJing, because we want to engage our young people and to make sure they understand the importance of math. And so we've been used for student assemblies, after school programs, summer programs. And so inside the kit, you get everything you need in this duffel bag. It comes with your laptop, comes with your user manual, 2 sets of headphones, a DJ turntable, your whiteboard, your dry erase markers, and all of the videos that will come in the user that complement the user manual. So you'll have the user manual and you'll have your videos to coincide with everything in the user manual. And then you'll have your software as well as a subscription to unlimited downloads on music so that we can reach a wide range of scholars, whether they like Afro beats or R&B or rock. All that music is available for them to calculate the different math and different opportunities there. And then lastly, we have some data. They have data from Stanford University that wanted to just really understand student engagement. So they asked one word to describe math, and as you can see, if you can't see, I'll read it to you. It says 17.5% said math was a waste of time. One word or phrase that you describe math. 30% said it was terrible. 22% said it was hard, and 17.5% said it was okay. And so that was 800 students in grades 6 to 8 that participated in the Math Through Music program. And then on day 120, you see those numbers drastically change, where only 3% out of 17.5 said it was a waste of time. Only 9% out of 30% said it was terrible. And actually 9% said it was enjoyable at first, but after our program on day 120, 26% said it was enjoyable. And so we wanted to just give you some data on what we've been doing with Math Through Music. We asked them how interested in math they are. You can see it's night and day. It's night and day of understanding the concept that when you do the same thing and expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. And so we wanted to showcase how we can change the paradigm and deliver STEM education differently. Here is a study that the Canadian federal government provided. They did a 5-year study in Canada, and as you can see, it doubled math scores there. We started from 2012 to 2017, and you can see that significant change right there where it went from 28% to 69%, where math scores increased. And this is the Canadian federal government. So our partnerships are all across North America, and so we wanted to make sure that we expanded right here in our state as Maryland. Math Through Music as a solution, just to be able to engage our young people right where they are and to be able to inspire them to continue to do the great things that they already set out to do. And so what we provide is a way for engagement, a way for that urge to learn to occur. And at this point, we're in year 11 of a 20-year plan. So we've partnered with dozens of organizations, and just we're thankful for all of our partnerships, specifically the YF Central Maryland, the Housing Authority, Montgomery County Public Schools, Baltimore City Public Schools, as well as Chester, PA. Public schools there. And so we're looking to expand with you. And so if you are in anywhere in the country and you care about our youth and you want to get them either A, our Math Through Music kit, or B, our JD product that teaches young people how to code and coding their information. If someone can mute, I'm hearing some background noise on someone's piece. But I just want to excite y'all to say that Math Through Music is here, it's expanding, and we're excited. At this point, I'll digress and take any questions, or just ask Leroy that I'll do do all right? And is my time over? Did I have more time? Or I think he said I'm okay.
You're good on time. You're good on time.
Great. So with that, it's
Hold, 1 sec. I'm sorry, Kendrick. We do have, and I don't know if he came into here, but we did have one brother. But you can go ahead and finish, Kendrick. I'm sorry, and then I want to jump to Abner. I don't know if he's
He's
Can I?
here.
actually. I thought he
He's on.
came.
Can I
He said he
introduce
was in.
Abner?
Yeah,
Hello?
absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
Once Kendrick
Yes.
fills up, and then you can take it over. Hassan. Okay, that's cool.
great. So
Yeah, Kendrick.
with that, I just want to wrap it up. So if you have a way to take a screenshot of this recording or take a picture of this recording and share this on your social media, you can tag me at DJ 5 Star. That's DJ the number 5 STARR. Let them know that we are building an academy. We are bringing accelerated learning to the marketplace, and we're bringing re-socialization back in the classroom, whether it's virtual or in person. And we're looking to partner with you. Our nonprofit arm is Be More STEM, so it would be just @ BEMORESTEM. That stands for bringing everyone more opportunities and relevant experiences in science, technology, engineering, and math. Thank you so much to my brothers of Black Professional Men. We are 30 years old, y'all. Well, 30 years old. We stand on a lot of giants, and it's just a lot of exceptional and phenomenal kings around us, as well as queens that support us. And so we're just here to serve. And at the same time, we got to serve each other and do business with each other. So I'm just excited that business is done with me and I'm able to do business with others, and so much more is to come. With that, that's my time. Thank y'all for giving me that moment.
Kendrick, that was great. And the one thing that sticks out to me about you, man, you said you're in your 11th year of your 20-year plan. That is absolutely phenomenal, brother. That is phenomenal. I love that. I love that, man. Can you? Oh, okay, cool. So I'm sorry, Hassan. So if you want to introduce, thanks again, Kendrick. I appreciate you. We
Absolutely.
appreciate you coming and talking. And I'm going to turn it over to our president so that he can do our next segment, or to introduce our next highlighted member that we wanted to have and come and talk with us a few minutes. He is on a little time frame, so we want to get him in as quickly as possible. So I'm going to turn it over to Hassan.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Abner is the next member that we're going to do a highlight, and I want to thank him personally because Kendrick and I have had a pain point over the last few years, and that pain point is that we have a lot of resources that can help address a lot of the members' challenges and goals. And we feel like we needed somebody that can come in and take the risk of experiencing and working with our resources and actually use it to accomplish their goal. And we're just so happy that Abner is one of the few members. There's several members behind the scenes, but he's one of the latest members to actually take advantage of one of our partners and was able to receive funding for his business. And I know we talk about entrepreneurship and, earlier, but this is, one of the things that's like on the other side of it, where, when you put preparation and will and skill together, you get a lot of luck. And so Abner is, hopefully we'll talk about how lucky he's been over the last, year or so. Go ahead, Abner.
First off, I want to thank everybody that's in attendance. And I want to thank you, Hassan, for just introducing me to BPM. I can remember our conversation that we had on the phone, and just, when I heard about it, it was just exciting for me just to, be in a space with individuals, like-minded individuals that are professionals as I'm doing my own journey, and just to be able to have you guys back my Kiva loan, was really, it gave me that credit worthiness, for people to invest, but also it was just kind of that belief that I needed. And, getting it from Black men, not just from you, Hassan, but, from Shadid, from having conversations with, so many men in this group. I will say that truly definitely defined my drive. And, I didn't have a doubt in my mind that I wouldn't be able to complete that loan. And just having that support, behind the scenes was super important for me. And I'm very appreciative of that. I think you're muted.
Unmute, Hassan.
Dog it. I'm sorry. I do this at work all the time. But if you can share just two more things. One,
Yep.
about your business, your goals, and what challenge you feel that you're going to solve with your consumers. And then the second thing is, what was your experience of going through the process of the Kiva loan, starting from asking the question, what is that? And what do I got to do? And then you doing those things and then getting to the point where you are now.
Okay. So my business, so I just launched my very own, well, not just launched, but I had launched my own Black-owned wine company based out here in Baltimore this past August. Named my first wine after my late grandmother. Named my red wine, my current wine I released after my mom. She's alive. And so my story is really just to continue to highlight the inspirational Haitian women in my life. I'm the only male in my immediate family, and it's, two aunts, and I have an older sister, and I have like two younger, female cousins. So I'm really the only male in that family. And without them and their support, I don't think I would be the man that I am today. And so I decided to just kind of name my first wine after them in order to create a legacy and to create, I guess the first steps in creating that generational wealth, something that my parents were not able to do. They are immigrants. I am first generation. So that's really what I wanted to do. I'm in 35 locations in Maryland and Massachusetts. We ship to over 45 different states. We've done a lot of collaborations with local plant shops here in Baltimore and VA. We turned one of our wines into an ice cream because we partnered up with the Charmery. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Charmery here in Baltimore. They have a couple of locations and a ice cream factory as well. Our first location was Serenity Wine Bar, which is a Black-owned and woman-owned wine bar near the Under Armour field. And so those are just to name a few of the accomplishments and things that, we've done. My goal really is to inspire those to get into the space because we make up less than 1%. And I think it's important that people see, us in that space, whether man or woman, but seeing, someone with my skin color in that space, whether being a Black professional in that, a sommelier or even owning their own wines, or let alone, pouring and just being in that space, volunteering to do that work. And so for me, I'm just trying to be that change that I want to see in regards to my business. And I know you wanted to, I guess the challenges that this loan will be able to kind of take over, right? Was that the question or address? And one of those is licensing. Being a small distributor, it's very hard to get licensing because you have to pay for, labels or price posting. For example, in Georgia, those might cost $200 per label. Currently, I have 2 wines. And so it's just having the funds to do that and expand and marketing, but also having the training. I do plan on, being more on the ground. Doing events, having tents, doing, I do have some things in the work, but hopefully I can use fund to train people to, get their alcohol service license. And then hopefully that will allow them to, work with other wineries or other bartenders, or just kind of catapult them into that space. So that's kind of what our funds plan on going to, and then inventory as well. And lastly, we do have a campaign that we will be launching where we'll be donating a portion of our proceeds of all of our online sales to HCA, which is Haitian Culinary Alliance. And they're actually on the ground in Haiti making close to 3,000 meals a day. They have access to helicopters to get to the mountains and whatnot. They go on live, sometimes to show what they're cooking so people can actually see what's going on. I am Haitian, and so that's really dear to my heart. I haven't been to Haiti since I was 13. All my family members from Haiti are in America now, but I just feel like, having that as my culture, as my background, as my DNA is super important. And for me, I'm hesitant to reach out to, different organizations or whatnot, or like Red Cross, or, just hesitant to that. But I was able to, connect with this chef who actually brought me to the embassy, the Haitian embassy. And so being able to, partner with an organization that I know will be on the ground, that is showing the results and, feeding my people is one of the things that we plan on doing with this fund. So, and then the process for Kiva, I had asked Hassan, what were the resources for, people that, that don't have the funds to kind of put into their business. As you guys may know, as the data shows, most Black, professionals are, self-funding. It's hard to either get loans, let alone family loans and whatnot. And so, I decided to just reach out. Hassan connected me with Caitlin. She's part of the Baltimore Core Kiva department, and we just got to talking and just understanding like what I needed to show to them that I was kind of interested and I was serious about this, and so we got to talking. We were able to kind of set up our goal. I needed 15 people to donate 25 just so I can be on their public network, and so in order for them to see that you're worth, well, what they say on the website is credit worthiness. They ask for a trustee to kind of co-sign this loan. And they also ask for, 15 people in your immediate network to donate, as little as 25, so they can put you on their public network with, I believe, is like 1.4 million lenders. And so I was able to do that. And since then, it's just been, going on social media, talking about it. I had to kind of, pay for some Instagram posts, some advertisements. And I decided to target, my hometown, which is Boston. I'm from Boston. And so I was reaching out to these, these Instagram pages, whether they're associated with, the Haitians of Boston or Boston culture and whatnot. I was on TV. I did an interview, not in Boston, but for a news station in Boston. So I was able to use all those tools just to continue to pub. One thing that, I read was Shadid's Twitter post. So I follow Shadid on Twitter before, I got into BPM. And one thing he highlighted that he retweets a lot is how LinkedIn is super important, and that was one of the things that I had to kind of get over that fear of, am I posting something professional or how am I saying that? And I was able to just kind of get into that LinkedIn world. And with that, I've been able to connect with a lot of people, especially in the Baltimore area, the Baltimore business area, that are looking to help. And so with that, like I said, I was able to just, put it out on Twitter, talk about it, share with people, walking around my retail locations, telling people about it. And so that's kind of how I raised my loan. And towards the end, there was I guess I don't know what word I'm looking for, but a family was donating or was matching two times, whatever was donated. And that's kind of how I reached my goal 3 days before the end of our campaign. And so, it was an experience. It was definitely, I was feeling anxious daily, waking up and just saying, all right, just seeing those numbers and seeing us climb. But I think for me, it's just, we had over 264 lenders and teams that supported us from all over the world. And, it just goes to show that, you do have people that do support the mission, and they may not even be in your immediate area. And I think for me, it was just understanding that, sometimes it's, your immediate circle can't support you financially. you know, and that's when you kind of have to go outside your circle. And like I said, I appreciate Hassan being able to open my eyes to the Kiva loan, you know, 0% interest. You know, I get a 3-month grace period in regards to, you know, repayments and whatnot. So this definitely put me in a great position. And I'm not stressed, you know, and it's not a lot, but, you know, it's something. And so I do plan on turning that and allowing that to kind of push my business further. So.
Awesome. Abner, we greatly appreciate you coming and sharing about the Kiva loan, because I think that will help some of our business owners or our entrepreneurs that are members of BPM to be able to understand the benefits of taking advantage of using this this tool that's there for our members. It's there for us, and when we have testimonials and true stories like yours, it gives something tangent or tangible that folks can actually see. Wow, it is something that works. It is something that's there, and it is something that can be used to be able to get you as an entrepreneur to be able to utilize it and be able to use it for to make your business or to get your products and services up and going, or even grow them even further. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
This evening. I know you gotta run as well too, but I want to jump into our next segment really quickly. Or Hassan, do you want to do the reports first, or you want to do the mastermind? You tell me how you want to roll with that, because we're at 7:30 now. 7:35.
Are the leads ready to give their reports?
Well, I have Shadid, and then I have Rashad, and then of course myself. So those three, we have those three to be able to share.
So is that a yes that all the leads are
Yes,
ready to
yes,
do the reports?
yes,
or?
yes, they are. So we can start with Shadid, and then we can jump right into Rashad. So Shadid, you want to take the mic, grab the mic?
Okay, great evening, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who are tuning in via the live stream, Shadidi Laser, I serve as the partnership chair. And so the partnership role is to document and provide accountability for our internal and external relationships and partnerships. So as the report goes, we have we're currently re-engaging our partners, which means we're having our discussions, discussing the overall goals and mapping those goals to our committees and or initiatives. And so that's currently in motion. It's a great time for that. As far as the partnership pipeline, we had a great conversation with Baltimore Community Lending and the different options that they have in order to meet their goal of being connected to the greater Baltimore community and through BPM. So that's in motion. They're currently going through the partnership operating agreement process, which is documenting the terms and conditions for partnerships. On the side of challenges, we need to fill out our team. That includes the inbound partnerships as well as outbound, which means that people reach out to organizations on our wish list that we want to have alignment with. And as far as opportunities, this season for 2022, we'll be hosting our first partnership open house. And we're looking to also host partnership roundtables with executive leadership to discuss various challenges this 2022 season as well. So that's the partnership report.
Awesome. I like that. I like that partnership roundtable and the other one that you said too. I like those two options that we have. Rashad, you there, brother? Or is he on mute? There he is.
Leroy, yes, I am here. How you doing?
I'm good. We're good, brother. You
So
just
good
take a couple
evening.
of minutes. Yep, the floor is yours.
All right, good evening. Just wanted to give a couple of updates. So first update is for the Ray of Hope Scholarship. We will start our 22, class of 22 and class of 25. They will begin meeting starting in November, but we will start our recruitment process over the next month. So we will be reaching out to students and schools and educators to try to get that class together as we fill out that class or the students that we participate in that class. Leroy, what other? I can give you a couple other different updates.
Yeah, just the you gave the row house, which is excellent, but also just it really quickly touch on the dues and the importance of that, how those tie in, and the options that members have for that. We can start.
Definitely. Also want to, as treasurer, want to also remind folks that dues are always due. If you haven't been up to date on dues, want to remind folks that dues are we're still collecting dues for new members and also for current members as well.
And the ad libs are everything.
I know, right?
That was Rashad's son saying, "A,
Thanks,
pay your
Rashad.
dues. A, pay
I
your
know.
dues." That's I
Yeah,
heard him.
exactly.
I heard him.
You hear him excited. He's like, "Hey, pay them dues." We've been trying to show the future of African American male, and he's a young king, young prince, and you know, the prince say, "Hey, we gotta,
Hey,
you know, we
pay
need
your
you."
I
dues.
love that.
Is the application for the scholarship live on the website?
We'll make sure it's up and updated and live. We'll make
Okay.
sure it's
Cool.
up there by the end of the week. I got you.
Cool.
Great,
That
great.
is excellent. Yeah, that is awesome. And then I will just add the last report, and that's for the general body meetings. As you all can see, the general body meetings that we have are held every second Wednesday of each month from September all the way up to May. And then we have June and all the way up to June. All the way up to June. And then July and August, we actually kind of do a revamp reset where we try and get ready for the next upcoming year. And this year is no different than that, where we have different topics that we will be focusing on that we feel are important to us as a Black men, but then also that are important to the young Black men, which are the next generation, who it is our mission to ensure the future of. So we will certainly have those coming up to be able to. For the folks that are tuning in to be able to be a part of, you can tune in via Zoom, which you will be able to have the link in addition to if you're able to join in live in our Facebook group. You can actually watch the replay there too as well. So you can let everyone know that may have missed the actual meeting, that they can actually watch the replay through the live that we have on the the group page, the Black Professional Men's group page, or I believe it will be on our YouTube channel as well. So you have different options to be able to see the different things that we have going on for this coming year. It's going to be another exciting year. We have just many events that are coming up for those that may have missed the last week with the kids going back to school. I'm going to mention this, but I'll also let Hassan say a little bit more about this too. On the September 13th, we have one more outing for going and meeting the students at the schools, and I'll let Hassan give all of that information about that if he can, the time, the date, and all of those things, so that we can have as many of us present for that day as we have possible. We want to show up and show out for this last school greeting of the year, because it's going to entail a lot. So Hassan, those are the reports that we have, and I'll let you take over the floor from here.
All right, so we're gonna do this mastermind, right? And I was reading one of the books that we have on our list. I want to say it's the what's the name of the book? It's like compounding something.
Compound effect.
Yeah, compound effect, right? So in the book, they talk about investing 10% of your income, right? And the first thing people would say when it comes up to investing 10% of their income is that they don't have enough to spare. Then it's fine. We get it. It's understandable, right? So I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about are the steps to get to the point where you can invest 10% of your income. Now, one of the things it tells you to do is to do a diary. So what we want to be able to do is have people, whoever can hear this, if you can hear this, you can participate. So if you can see this, you can put a comment in wherever you are. What's something that you can do without that will allow you the ability to invest money, a portion of your income? Was one thing. This is part where people respond. Like those are the guys who's on the call, right? Food. Okay, so
I'll start.
Go ahead, Kendrick.
So one way you can do is for small businesses, have a system in place so you don't see it. That is a payroll service. I just happen to use ADP, so I'll just use ADP as the example. Every time I run a payroll, a percentage goes to somewhere else. And same thing with an app on your phone. I forget the name of it. It's another app that donates to my change. And so if I go and spend something on my credit card or my debit card and it doesn't come up to a solid dollar, it'll round up and throw it, put that excess change in another pot. And so that's an easy way to raise $1,000 without even seeing it, just from a system. So my advice to that is putting the systems in place, whether it's an app, and I'll make sure I look up that app before we go around the room, or if you're a business owner, add that to your payroll system, where when you pay yourself, a portion of your check goes somewhere where you want to save it, or a savings account, or IRA, or whatever you decide for it to be. Make it in a system so you don't see it and gotta do it. That's my advice.
Yeah, and I would just add to what you were saying, Kendrick. When you talk about taking it out, one of the suggestions was you have a separate, whatever amount that you're able to say you want to cut out, or that you want to save, that you're going to save, whether it's through food, like was mentioned, or like Kendrick said, automating things. Even if you automate your bills from home, but if you're going to put money aside, put it in a bank that is not near you, that's not convenient to you. Put it in a credit union, someplace where you would have to literally get in your car to be able to use it in order to be able to go get it. That helps as well too. So I'll just add that.
Okay. Now, I'm a very disciplined saver and have been my entire life, but my advice is going to completely contradict that, which is to earn more money. And so what I mean by this is to create digital employees so that you have, let's say, a packaged product such as a course, an ebook, generating those sales for you due to the fact that people are searching for solutions to problems every second of the day. With that money, you can set the automated payments such as Digit or many of the others, as Kendrick was mentioning. So My approach is to create digital employees and allow for that pot or that income stream to continue to grow and grow and grow, and automate the proceeds into investment accounts and or savings and money market accounts.
That's good.
Okay. So what about the average person, right? Not the person who owns a business, maybe just the person who has a 9-to-5, right? What advice could we give them? Like, not to save the whole 10%, but to save the 1%, to save the 3%. So we got eat out less, we got cut back on your cable service. You know, one time when we did our book club, this gentleman actually stopped eating out, and the money he saved, he was able to use that money for a down payment on his house. So many times I feel like, this is just my pet peeve, is that we tell people you need to invest money, you need to invest this, you need to save money, but we don't give them the specific steps, nor do they ask. But if they say, hey, you need to go to a party, well, what floor is it on? I need details. The details I needed then. And so I just wanted to use this opportunity to kind of shed that. So, whenever you're listening to this video, no matter, how many times, if you can kindly post in the comments, what are some tips that we can share with other people of what they can do to start their process of saving money that they can invest?
I got one. Very practical, based on a true story. First of all, since this is being streamed, Elm City, I got to give a shout out to the man who taught me this strategy in high school, my teammate, James Muzan. Okay, so it goes like this. Spend the dollars, save the change. Spend the dollars, save the change. And so if you're out, you're at the laundromat, you're here, you're doing this and that, you're spending money at the gas station, put the money that you have in change away. And so that can be, we use shoe boxes, we use freezer bags, and we keep it away from our graphs, meaning you got to go under your bed to get it so that it's not on your dresser, it's not easily accessible. Now, once it reaches a certain limit, once it fills up, because you're not touching that money, then you take it directly to the bank and deposit it. True story. When I years later, when I was in the military, I was stationed in Japan, had an apartment, and I would take my part-time income, and whenever I would spend, I would save the change. When it was time to move, I had so much change. I had 4 figures in change, and I could not take it all with me. I had to throw change out. So spend the dollars, save the change. It works.
Okay. I think that's good. So does anybody have any more suggestions of what a person can do to start doing investing?
Well, I think it begins with what, for the average person, it will begin by taking a look at what money that they have coming in, and then they have what money that they have going out. So they have to do an assessment of their money. They have to see what they're spending their money on, and then that'll give them the idea of what they can cut back on. I think once they do an assessment, and that's nothing more than, I think we've all had this taught, where you write down everything that you spend money on for a month, for 30 days or so. And then as you take a look at that, you see where you're spending money, and then you're able to assess, okay, I don't really need to do this. I don't really need to do this. I don't really need to do this. And you can kind of see where the money can be move from that money that you're spending there over to where you were saying where you're actually putting the money away for that 10% that you're talking about? That would be my suggestion.
Got one. I got one. I'm in the zone. All right. Again, true story. There's been two pivotal investment points in my life. Number one, when I was 19 or 20, and I was in the military. So I was friends, or we were coworkers in the same division with a gentleman who was raised by entrepreneurs. They taught him a lot about investing in stocks, and we went from let's say sports gambling into investing into stocks. So the way that he did this was he would relate betting on sports to investing. And so you have a favorite team. So with stocks, you have your favorite companies. Since you don't know the favorite companies, invest in what you know. So Nike, Timberland, these were the brands that I started to invest with. Later on in life, this was the second big investment, let's say, shift that I had was with cryptocurrency. And so there was a gentleman that I was a contractor at T. Rowe Price. It was a gentleman who was a fellow contractor, and he just sat me down and explained how cryptocurrency worked. And I listened to him. Thank goodness, way back in 2016, I listened to that man. And so the point is that if you're getting started, don't lean on your own understanding, and get around people who know the ropes and are smarter than you, and you trust, most importantly, to not steer you in the wrong direction. And in both of those examples, earlier in life and almost 20 years later, it was someone who knew the ropes, someone who was enthusiastic about it and was willing to guide me along. And most importantly, when you get the right information, listen to the person. And you don't have to, invest the whole farm, invest your whole account, but start with ones and twos. They add up. And for me, it absolutely did. Compound interest is real.
Dope.
Great. So as far as the Black professional men, we're going to be taking steps to re-engage with in-person meetings. We're still working out what that schedule will look like, but as soon as we fine-tune that, we're going to release information about that. We are going to start to build our schedule out again. Next Saturday, we're working with the Baltimore County African American Culture Festival. So we're working, behind the scenes to help make that event a success. We also have the plans to start the Hire Black Baltimore franchise, the Black Expo franchise. So we have started steps with those. So we're very excited about that. We're continuing to meet with new partners and to align them with the crawl, walk, run approach that we have seen so much success with, during the 2019 pre-COVID era. We also are kicking off our financial literacy tour, and that also aligns with our Black Man's Challenge. So for those of you who may remember, a Black Man's Challenge is very simple. We want to encourage every Black man to do 20 community service hours a year, 10 just in their community. 2 to 5 is self-development, understanding that when you build yourself up, you're also building the community up because you are part of the community. And then 2 to 5 hours for peer-to-peer mentoring. A lot of times, people can receive information if it's given to them from the right source. So it's To us, it doesn't matter what's the vehicle that somebody gets the information they need at the time they need it, only that they get it. So again, we wanted to, we have, Shadi, we have information about that on our website, correct? So great. So that's something that we really are pushing this year, the Black Man's Challenge. And again, you don't have to be a member of the organization to do it. You just have to have the need to want to help your community, want to help yourself, and want to help the brother next to you. If you have any of those things, that you can participate in the Black Man's Challenge. And then what we really like for you to do is to experience the power of working together and experience the environment that we have created that allows each one to teach one. So we're definitely excited about this new year. And if you have any questions, please feel free. Y'all can contact me directly. That's president@bpminc.org, or you can visit our website. That is blackprofessionalmen.org, or you can contact us on any social media outlet with BPM INC ORG. If you do a search for that in any social media platform, you will pull us up. Even on Pinterest, you will pull us up. All right. So we're trying to, we have adopted the model that we want to be able to meet our community where they are. So our mission is to ensure the future of African-American males. We believe that we cannot do that without helping, the Black man and the Black family put their masks on first. As people start to travel again, in the safety briefings, you have to put your mask on before you can help the person next to you. And we're just we want to be able to remind the individuals in our community of that simple technique so that they can be able to be stronger as they help those other that needs it. And with that, we say good night.
Thanks again for joining us, everyone. We will see you all next month right here, again, as we ensure the future of African-American male. We want everyone to have a great evening. I love this side of folks.